Today, we're celebrating Comic Sans, the font everyone loves to hate. Hi there, everyone. I'm Jeff, and this is Plain English, where we help you upgrade your English with current events, trending topics, or whatever happens to be in my mind when I sit down on a Friday to write the content. Every now and then, I make an episode about something that just makes me laugh, and that's what I'm doing today. The first Friday in July is Comic Sans Day, so that will be tomorrow, July 7th, 2023. According to the official description, Comic Sans Day is celebrated across the world as a way to laugh about and appreciate this overused and universally hated font. This is lesson 587 of Plain English, and the full lesson can be found at plainenglish.com/587. In the second half of the audio, I'll show you what it means to play a role in something, and we have a song of the week. Let's get going. Typography plays a role in how we perceive written communication. Most of us don't pay too much attention to choices of fonts and typefaces. It's just a background part of the world we live in. But somehow it's different when we see something written in Comic Sans. Comic Sans was developed by a Microsoft designer named Vincent Conner. His inspiration was comic books. In a comic book, characters speak through quote bubbles. And in comic books, the lettering of the speech is informal, uneven, imperfect, childlike, as if it were written with a pencil that needs sharpening. Comic Sans brings that childlike look to computers. Professional designers have criticized Comic Sans as a typeface. They say the spacing between the letters isn't even. The weight of the strokes forming the letters, also not consistent. When you look at it, something looks a little not right. But the funny thing is, this was done on purpose. In the early days of Microsoft Windows, the company was trying to create a computer-based user guide that would help consumers learn how to use Windows. They used a cartoon dog called Rover to teach customers what to do and where to click in Windows. And Rover had speech bubbles, like in a cartoon. Comic Sans was developed to represent the words of the talking dog Rover in the gamified Windows user guide. So if you think about it that way, Comic Sans did its job perfectly. It's silly, it's cute, it's the typeface you would imagine a talking dog would use. The Microsoft user guide wasn't a success. Not many Windows users ever had the privilege of meeting Rover, the talking dog. But the user guide did leave a lasting legacy. Comic Sans was included in every copy of Windows 95 and every copy of Windows since then. And it has inspired controversy like no other font in the history of personal computing. Designers say that when you use Comic Sans, you're communicating that what you're writing isn't serious. So it's especially tragic or funny when someone uses Comic Sans in a situation that really should be serious. Comic Sans is good if you want to inject a little personality into a non-serious thing. If you're advertising a bake sale, for example, or printing invitations to a child's birthday party. It's not good if you want to communicate something serious. That hasn't stopped people from using Comic Sans in official documents, in corporations, in government, on signs. A sign advertising a domestic violence hotline, Comic Sans. Safety warnings, oh no, also Comic Sans. One funeral home printed its detailed invoice in Comic Sans. A scientific conference announcing the discovery of the Higgs boson, a major breakthrough in physics, also used Comic Sans. Now, in all these cases, people chuckle, they snap pictures with their phones, and they laugh at how inappropriate it is. But consider a few famous cases where Comic Sans was used and not for comic relief. A World War II memorial in the Netherlands inscribed the names of fallen soldiers in Comic Sans, attracting complaints from Jewish organizations. In Chile, a former president was honored with a statue and an engraving in Comic Sans, drawing ridicule on social media. The most famous example of Comic Sans appearing in an inappropriate place came in 2010. The basketball star LeBron James had decided to leave his hometown Cleveland Cavaliers in favor of the Miami Heat. This infuriated the city of Cleveland. Fans burned LeBron jerseys. They felt betrayed. The owner of the Cleveland Cavaliers, Dan Gilbert, released a blistering letter. He called LeBron's move a shocking act of disloyalty. He called it a heartless and callous action. He promised Cleveland would win a basketball championship without LeBron James. The words channeled the anger and betrayal that most Clevelanders felt, but the letter was written in Comic Sans. The internet exploded in ridicule. How could you take it seriously? People asked. Here was the owner of a basketball team, a billionaire real estate developer, expressing anger and betrayal in a typeface for children. For a time on Twitter, criticism of Comic Sans in Dan Gilbert's letter was briefly more intense than criticism of LeBron's decision to leave Cleveland. There developed a niche industry to poke fun at this font. A couple of graphic designers started a partially serious movement to ban Comic Sans. There was a Comic Sans joke in the TV show Parks and Recreation. There's a Croatian movie about a graphic designer. The movie is called Comic Sans. And there's even a song named for the typeface. Comic Sans is the best font in the world if you want your designs to look like they're done by little girls, the song goes. But for all the ridicule this typeface gets, there are some admirers. In the Netherlands, 2 radio DJs decided they would celebrate the font on the first Friday of July every year, Comic Sans Day. Some Dutch companies have changed the fonts on their websites to Comic Sans on that day. One study showed the font is especially legible for dyslexic readers. Other studies show that if you want people to pay attention to what you're writing, use Comic Sans. People remember the content more than they would if it were written in a traditional typeface. There was a website a long time ago called passiveaggressivenotes.com, and it would be full of photos of passive-aggressive notes that people would leave for other people, for neighbors, roommates, office kitchens, things like that. Readers would take pictures of these notes and submit them. It was so funny. And the funniest ones were the really mean ones written in Comic Sans. I don't know why, but it just always made me laugh. So when I saw there was a Comic Sans Day, I said, I have to do an episode about that. Today's expression is play a role in. Play a role in is used to describe how something or someone contributes to a situation or a context. So if you think about a play or even a movie, a character is a role. You might say, I just got accepted into the new performance of West Side Story, a famous musical. And a friend might respond, congratulations, what role are you playing? That means, what character will you represent? And in a play, a single character contributes to the overall play. In most plays, movies, musicals, whatever, a single character isn't the whole show. A single character contributes to the show. So when we use play a role in, we're talking about something that contributes to a bigger situation. I know a lot of you are working parents. Would you agree with this statement? Time management plays a role in managing work and home responsibilities. Time management plays a role. That means effectively using your time is one of the things that allow you to balance work and home responsibilities. It's not the only thing. You have to be good at your job. You have to love your kids. But managing your time plays a role. It's one of the things that allow you to balance your work and home life. When you think about preserving the environment, slowing changes in the climate, you think of world leaders. You think of energy policy, nuclear, gas, windmills, solar farms, things like that. But individuals also play a role in protecting and preserving the natural environment. Maybe we as individuals can't solve all the world's problems, but our individual choices play a role. They form part of the bigger effort to protect the environment. Recycling, reducing waste, lowering our energy usage, all that plays a role in reducing our impact on the climate. Most often we use play a role with an adjective like important. Play an important role. You send your kids to school, you expect the school to teach them everything they need to know, right? Not exactly. Parents play an important role in children's education. Parents supervise homework. They instill good habits. They make sure kids get enough food and enough sleep. They help connect their schoolwork to the wider world. By doing this, parents play an important role in the education of their kids. Today, I said that typography plays a role in how we perceive written communication. The typography isn't everything. Now, clearly, the words matter. The color matters. The size matters. If it's digital, if it's print. But the typography plays a role. Are you going to read it? Is it easy to read? What does it tell you about the material that's being written? The font, the type plays a role in how we perceive what's written. Many brands have discovered that influencers can play an important role in a brand's strategy. Influencers help them reach more people in a more authentic way. Especially today, when people tune out commercials, press skip on YouTube ads, influencer marketing plays an important role in a brand's advertising strategy. PPE, remember that term? Personal protective equipment. That was your COVID mask, your gloves if you worked in a public place, maybe even a gown if you worked in a hospital. That equipment played a crucial role in stopping the spread of COVID-19 back when it was really spreading fast. It played a crucial role. It was very important. It wasn't the only thing, not by a long shot. We had work from home, we had vaccines, social distancing, hand washing, spraying surfaces, lots of stuff. But the protective equipment played a crucial role. Listening skills are important, and not just in languages, in friendships and relationships too. Active listening plays an important role in developing strong friendships. Sure, you need other things, but it's hard to be a good friend if you can't truly listen to someone else. Time for the song of the week. It's called Forerunner by Bren. A Forerunner is a kind of Toyota truck, and the song is about the singer and an ex-partner that have grown apart. They're now living separate lives in different places. One of the lines goes, "And your Forerunner, is it running up north these days? I bet it gets lonely. No one's there to keep you sane." It's the kind of question you ask, little details of a shared life from times gone by. Good song this week, JR, Forerunner by Bren. That's Bren, B-R-E-N-N, only with an exclamation point at the end. And that's all for today's Plain English. Sorry about the silly topic. You just need to allow me one of those every now and then. Remember, this was lesson 587, so the full lesson transcripts are available at plainenglish.com/587. We'll be back on Monday with a brand new topic. See you then.